Hi my loves, how's it going? How you guys doing? Welcome back to another video. We are going to be kicking off 2025 by doing a no buy. Now, don't come for me. I was supposed to do one last year and I think it roughly lasted about 3 months, and then I went back to a low buy. And me with a low buy, it never truly was a no buy. So there's a few reasons I finally decided to do a no buy, and I kind of wanted to go through that and kind of make a video about it, and maybe every couple of months I'll do like a check-in with you guys and kind of let you know what's going on. But I've decided that I will be doing a no buy. Now the no buy extends from just makeup to other categories too, but each category does have a different sort of time frame and a different reason as to why I want to do a no buy for that particular category. So the main sort of reason I finally decided to do a no buy is because I really need to fix my spending habits. My job is part-time. I do not earn enough to be spending the way I'm currently spending, and my impulsive spending, even though it's heavily due to my mental illness, has left me in a lot of debt. And I've done this where like I'll clear my debt, then I'll like add it back on again, then I'll clear it, then I'll add it back on again and again, and it's just like a bloody cycle that I can't seem to get out of. However, I'm currently sick of constantly going through that cycle repeatedly. And one thing I've really noticed is the time when I was finally debt-free, I think back in like 2022, even though that was very short-lived. No, it wasn't 2022, I think it was like 2023 actually. It was like a very short time frame when I was debt-free, and that sort of like feeling at the time was actually just unmatched, because I feel like when you are in debt and you owe money, and this might become more like from a spiritual slash religious side, and I know this is not everyone's beliefs, but this is just what I found. One, you're constantly stressed and you obviously are living paycheck to paycheck. Also, my circumstances are different because I live at home with my parents, so I do have that point as well, that I am not liable to pay for like rent and all these other things and costs that come with having your own place. So just keep that in mind when I share my experience. I have, like, when I was finally debt free, there was a very light feeling. I also felt like I was able to get more blessings, and just not having that sort of like stress, I did feel like I invited a lot more good into my life. And I also know, like, being a Muslim, and I know one of the things that like is really heavily frowned upon is debt and owing money, either to people or just to other places. You should also spend within your means, which I think is also really important. Obviously, if you're in debt because you've had to do an emergency something, that's a very different situation. Whereas my debt is caused by my impulsivity due to my mental illness and me not having a way or learning ways of managing money or financial literacy. A lot of that goes to the fact that we grew up very, very poor, and when I finally started working, I could get whatever I wanted to buy. And since I started working, I never knew how to like manage money. So like I didn't have somebody I can go to and talk to about all those things. So there was a lot of that aspect of me finally getting this like income, not knowing how to like budget or what that was or how to spend and whatever. And then I was just like buying all these things I finally had the chance to buy. And obviously then struggling with mental illness, constantly feeling suicidal, self-harm, or whatever else it was. In between all of that pile of like shit, I used to spend, like, to stop myself from self-harming or to binge eat, or like if I finally, like if I had ended up self-harming or binge eating, I would then either use shopping as like a form of distraction or to punish myself further, and then I would go ahead and do this like impulsive shopping. That's how my collection of makeup has grown so much, and that's why I have so much stuff. I wish I didn't. I wish I actually had savings, because that would be better. I'm also sorry this is going to be like a tangent as well, so I do apologize for that, but that's kind of like the background of why this is the issue. But when I was finally debt free, I did feel so much better, lighter, and I felt like there was more good just happening around me. Also, there's like more barakat in like the money that you have. So my goal is for 2025 to finally unlearn all these bad habits, that I have gained and I have learned over the years, and to build new, better and healthier habits. I've had years and years and years of like neglecting myself, of not knowing how to deal with my mental illness, literally being at like rock bottom consistently, and then like just all sorts of shit. And I'm finally in a place where I really just want to do good by myself. And I think having that sort of like debt, it truly weighs so heavily on me, and I constantly feel guilty about this. And I have this conversation with my best friend so many times, and it's insane. And I'm finally at a point where I'm just genuinely so sick of it, just because of how much I feel like energy it takes from you. Also, I would rather spend that money on experiences. I have so many other things I want to spend that money on. For instance, tattoo removal, possibly at least one of my tattoos. I also want to get like my teeth done again. So I used to have braces, but I want like, they've kind of like moved because I never really wore the retainers. So I want to kind of get either braces or like, I've forgotten the other one, Invisalign, to kind of like straighten my teeth. I want to get teeth whitening. I want to get hair laser surgery, not surgery, but hair laser removal. You know, I want to maybe be able to get my own car, be able to buy like a better quality clothing, maybe spend money on therapy, because that would be really important. I think that would be quite good for me to do, and to also have long-term therapy with a good therapist. There's a lot of things that I want to spend money on. Also, I would have to like start saving for like a potential wedding. I don't have a partner or anything like that, but if I was to ever get to that point of I'm gonna possibly get married, I have no money to save for these events that I want to have, or like these ideas that I want to do, and just all of that stuff. So all of that tangent said, all of that venting done, I really heavily want to focus in on clearing my debt. I have like a rough idea of how I want to go about it, and what I want to do, and the debt I want to prioritize at different times. So that's kind of something that I'm going to be working on behind the scenes. I probably won't go ahead and tell you guys the figures of what I'm going to do, but I might share like the things that I've done. But again, I don't think that will be very useful, because I don't have to take money out of my wages to like pay for rent or fuel or like groceries and things like that, because I heavily rely on my parents. Because I live at home, I contribute in different ways financially at home when needed, but I don't have that sole like responsibility on myself. So I don't really think I'll be the best person to like give advice on that, but I just wanted to point out that like there's all of these factors that like to do with my debt. But that all being said and done, I've decided that the best way for me to go ahead and prioritize this debt is by doing this no buy. The categories that are gonna be in this no buy are hair care, skincare, makeup, definitely, books, clothes, unless I truly need the item, and I think another one was like art supplies and journal supplies and things like this. The journal and art sort of like crafting supplies, I have been on a no buy for some time, and I've just said that I'm gonna be on a no buy indefinitely, because I have so many like colourful pens, like tapes and all sorts of stuff. I don't really use those enough for me to like, or even scrapbook for me to then be like, okay, let me buy more, because the ones I already have, they will last me years and years and years. I already did like a big declutter, and I passed a bunch of my stuff over to my younger cousins, but I still have so much left over. So I'm trying to currently use up what I have. So that category, no brainer, no buy indefinitely. Then we come to books, and for books I've decided I'm going to be on a no buy for this whole year. I will treat myself for my birthday, however. If I can get through at least the 11 months on this no buy, I will be doing a big birthday haul. When I say big, I don't mean like 100 books, probably between 20 to 30 books. That includes like series, because series can have like easily like 5+ books in a series. So there are some that I really want to pick up, and for that reason I want to kind of like make the experience a bit more enjoyable, rather than constantly buying stuff, if that makes sense. Also, I don't have space anymore for me to actually put any more books in my room. Both of my bookshelves are basically full. My bedside table glass might break if I add any more books in there, and I need space that's clear so I can think and function as like a proper human being. So I've decided for books, it's going to be a no buy for as long as I can. And then I'll let myself treat myself for my birthday. And within then, even when I do that, I'll like have some kind of a limit, but I'll think about that later on. Also, the main sort of thing that's like really fueling this no buy for the books is that this bookshelf here and that bookshelf there has so many books that are physically unread. And honestly speaking, as much as I love collecting books, I've just come to a point where I don't want to be collecting books for the sake of collecting books. Also, I've heard that a lot of these books that are like highly recommended on TikTok are like complete duds, or like they tend to just have like low ratings on Goodreads and like other places. So I've decided that rather than me constantly trying to buy the next book and stay on top of whatever TikTok is doing, or like any other like book recommendations, I have so many books already that I can read, that I know that I will enjoy reading as well, that I can then actually just like, rather than constantly buying new stuff to try to fill a void, let me pick up something I already have, let me read it, let me experience that particular story, and then move on to the next one. I think it's like 300 plus books that are like unread, like on my physical TBR, that will keep me busy for several years to come, because I'm a slow reader. And yeah, as much as I also want to like build my own library, the space that I currently have is not feasible for me to have 1,000 books. And also, am I ever going to find 1,000 books that I enjoy? I don't know. So my goal is, while I'm doing this no buy for books, I want to read what I have and unhaul what I can. There will be a big unhaul at the end of this year, and I know that will happen. There are a lot of books that I have that I know I'll either just read once and never read again. And I'm also really good at DNFing books. I'm actually really good at that. And that is something that I can see myself doing with a few books here and there as well. So the goal truly is to just not buy any more books, because I have enough to last me for the next couple of years anyway. But then reading what I have and unhauling as many of those as I can. I have a rough goal of about unhauling 50 books by the end of the year. Hopefully I can do that, but I think that might be a very big target for me to achieve. There are books that I have read that I might end up decluttering, but because most of my collection being unread, I do think that'd be kind of difficult to do. But I would love to just get rid of some stuff. I know that the books on my bedside table, there are so many there that I know that once I've read it, I'm gonna not DNF it, sorry. Once I've read it, I will just unhaul it. And I am quite good at like unhauling books when I need to, but I feel like I have to read the book first before I can unhaul it. That's my only issue. But I do know that I have plenty of cousins I can offer my books to, so that's gonna be the main goal with books, just reading what I can and then unhauling what I can as well. I think that's really important for me to do as well, because I need space, I need clarity, and I hate too much physical noise. The next category of this no buy was going to be hair care, and the reason why I'm currently on a no buy for this is because I have a lot of products that I got as like a free part of like a free goodie bag that you get when you spend over a certain amount of money, which means I have a lot of subpar products which I didn't actually buy but I received. And I have a really hard time with letting go of things because I'm like emotionally attached to stuff. That is a lot to do with like hoarding sort of tendencies, but also a lot to do with like emotional attachment to stuff as well. So there is a lot of that issue, but I'm doing this no buy just so that I can use up what I have. Eventually I will have to do repurchase. Eventually I'm gonna have to repurchase shampoo and conditioners and stuff like that. But where I already have enough of those in my collection, I don't really see a need for me to like buy any more. I do have like favorite shampoos that I like using, but I have enough back stock where I don't need to buy anything yet. So this will be like a no buy but replacement only no buy, but even then it's going to be buying stuff that I truly want and just being more mindful when I do shop for those said products. So that's like another big thing that I need to just like point out as well. I will eventually be repurchasing stuff, but this no buy is put in place for now for me to just actually use up what I have and use up as much of it as I can. I have definitely done better than previous years, and I have used up a lot, and a lot has left my collection, which is fantastic, but I still have a lot to go through, and I just want to make sure that I use up all of this old stuff before I can build like a brand new collection of things that I truly want and would actually use, and maybe like have 1 or 2 things I can experiment with, rather than having so much stuff that I don't actually know whether it's going to be good for my hair or not, and it's just like taking up space because it's waiting to get used. It's a bit silly really. Then if we move on to skincare, and with skincare again it's the same thing. It's going to be replacement only. I currently have a lot of skincare and I do have less than what I did previously, and there are categories I've done really well in. Like at this current stage I have 0 sheet masks. I don't think I've ever had a year that I've gone into where I have had 0 sheet masks. I don't know how the rest of the year will go, but at least there are categories I can see a decline in, and I have less products in that particular said category. I will be posting numbers at some point and showing you guys what I have, and the main goal again is just to use up all of this old stuff that I have, because some things are from 2023, some are, there possibly could be 1 or 2 things from before that point, but I think that's very unlikely, but still. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff that came into my collection in 2024. Obviously most of it was from 2023, but still I do have a lot. And again, there are some products that I know that work really well for my skin. I usually love the idea of like experimenting and using different things and stuff like this. However, I've now found specific brands or specific products that work really well for my skin, and I would like to just repurchase those products more frequently than have more products of things that I'm just like trying to use up for the sake of using up. Again, I don't have the issue of experimenting, but I do need like a base routine that I can heavily rely on and stick to. So, and also these products are getting old and I don't want old stuff in my collection. Obviously if something's like really expired, I will toss it, I'm not going to use it, but still I do want to just again start from a clean slate. I think that's like the biggest thing I want in 2025, is just have like a clean fresh slate I can start off with, like a clean base for me to begin my life with. So I think that is something I really do want to focus on, and that's why I'm doing this No By the way I'm doing it. Then we move on to perfumes, and I've been on some kind of a no buy anyway since like June of 2024, but I want to do another year of a no buy with perfumes, because as I was using some of my perfumes I've realized that they have expired, and that really pissed me off because perfumes are not cheap, and also some of these products were not that old for them to have expired the way that they did. I don't keep things in like direct sunlight because I know that speeds up the process of it, like expiration, so they're all like in my wardrobe there, but still some of these are expiring and I don't like that. Last year I used up a lot of perfumes because a lot of them were either samples or they'd already had a lot of usage on them, and or they like started to expire, so my priority became to use those up, and that's what I did. And then for 2025 I have a lot of other perfumes I can actually use up, and my goal is to just use up half of what I have. I think I have like 43 perfumes at the moment. I do have a good chunk of like mini perfumes and a couple of samples, and some of the Kayali smaller perfumes, they will not take long to use up. My goal is to split it in half. Do you know what will be even better? If I can end 2025 with 20 perfumes. There are so many events that are happening this year. I've got so many weddings to do, so many weddings to go to, and also just at home I try to just use perfume because honestly I just, why not? It's nice to add a little bit of perfume, do a little bit of makeup, do your hair, make yourself feel good. And do you know what doing all of those things? Self-care. That's what I'm going to try to do, and I am heavily trying to use up what I have as well for that reason. Now once I have like, I think with perfumes I probably will eventually do like a clean slate as well, but as long as I can use up my old perfumes that are like so slowly starting to expire, and then just keep space for perfumes that I truly love the smell of and I enjoy using, I'll be happy with that. Obviously don't mind experimenting with a couple of different perfumes, that's absolutely fine. Obviously I'm just talking about myself. Some people love collecting perfumes and that's fine. You do you, live the life you want to live, and if that's what makes you happy, do it, because life is difficult and honestly you should find something that brings you joy. But I would like to have a more sort of like curated collection anyway with perfumes, and that's why I want to do this like no buy and use up what I can. I am doing a project plan for perfumes over on TikTok. I'll trying to link that video down below, so hopefully editing me remembers to do that. But yeah, I just want to use what I can, and I hate the idea of things just like taking up space now. I want to use things up. I want to move things out of my collection. I want to have more curated collections. I want to have less things. I want to walk into my room, and if it's messy, it takes me half an hour to clean my mess rather than it taking me several hours to clean, which used to be the case before. I'm obviously getting better, but still, it's a lot. It is a lot to do and to handle. There are several reasons why I decided to do the no buy for makeup, and for makeup, it will probably be, not even probably, it will be a year long no buy, unless it's like a few limited edition products that I really wanted, or things that I need to replace. And surprisingly, there are some categories I know for a fact I will need to replace at the end of the year or at some point during the year. I know for a fact setting sprays I will need to repurchase. Brow, maybe 1 or 2 brow products I need to repurchase. Potentially primers, concealers could be one of them as well, depending on how much I use up like the next, or how much I do makeup. So yeah, this will be replacement only no buy, and this potentially could end up being a 2+ year no buy. But I really want to do this for myself because I need to cleanse my palette and also myself and my spending habits, and to not obsessively want the next thing, because a lot of these new products that have been released have been rubbish, and they get so highly advertised by influencers, and so many people say, oh my god, it's amazing, and then I use it and it's nothing as hyped up as what they said. It's far from amazing, and it's the complete opposite of what these people have been saying to me. So I have been lied to a bit too much, and I'm currently getting a bit too sick of that. Also, a lot of the new products I have bought, they've expired on me so quick. What the hell is that all about? Like, what are you doing to me? So yeah, there's like so many different factors as to why. And also, I don't really have the space for the makeup, and I don't really feel the urge to buy makeup right now, and I think that's a good place for me to be in. I will obviously, I love experimenting with makeup though, that's the thing. So there is a possibility at some point down the line I could by accident break my no buy, but for the most part I am trying to just make sure that it's replacement only, and only time I'm allowing myself to break this no buy consciously, like speaking now in the future, is if it's like a limited edition product that I really like, and I feel like I would regret not buying it. And most of the times that is to do with the Beauty Bay palettes, because they're always limited edition and the formula of those are so good. Colour stories are usually really great, and I've been collecting those for some time. So that's probably something that I will buy consciously, and I'm letting you guys know so you can hold me accountable if I do more than that. But that's just something that I know I will probably end up repurchasing. But yeah, I think that was very long-winded for my no buy rules, but I kind of wanted to talk about each sort of category, and these are the sort of the rules I'm going to have and I'm going to implement. Obviously, some of these no buy rules will change for some categories, and eventually I will be able to shop freely. But right now, where I'm currently at, I don't think I can allow myself to do that. And the biggest factor that's really pushing this is the debt. Once I'm debt free, I will allow myself a little bit more freedom when it comes to buying certain products. But with certain other categories, I can't allow myself to do that because I have too much of it, and that's already being neglected. So yeah, that's like my really long-winded, very vented sort of like rules for this no buy. If you are going to join, let me know down below. I'll probably post like a video or rules are on Instagram and TikTok at some point. I don't know when, but at some point I will. I just hope you guys enjoy this like really long video. I'm so sorry. I don't even know how long I've been talking. Yeah, I love yapping. But anyway, thank you so much if you got this far. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you next week for another video. Bye.